studio, Dr. Esther Ndidi is here. She is a health and fitness expert, and she's also the author of Hot and Healthy. And she's no short of that. Dr. Esther, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You look so great. I was telling
you.
her earlier that her Instagram gives me a bit of stress. There's no way you can be looking this good and be a mother, Dr. Esther.
Yes, dear.
But it's so good to have you here with us. And
It's
I've
a
seen
good
you've already
morning.
set up your table.
Yes.
First of all, let's talk about one thing that we tend not to talk about, body types. People have different body types, and with different body types, I'm guessing they're different diets. Demystify this for us.
Different body types. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. We're going to have a good time.
Oh, yes, we are.
And we got food with us.
And yes, we do. She brought snacks. All right.
Just for us.
But you can, if you're at home, you can be part of it via osmosis, okay?
Yes.
You can be in the spirit. All right.
We'll eat, you'll enjoy. Anyway.
I like that.
So, yeah, of body types, it's very interesting. To start with, actually, that's a concept that was started way back by a psychologist, actually, a certain Dr. Sheldon. But we have three basic body types, and all of us actually fall somewhere in between. So we have the ectomorphs, endomorphs, and the mesomorphs. Ectomorphs are the people who tend to be really skinny. They're the typical runway models.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, you know those ones?
Yes. They want to get away with eating anything.
Yes, those ones.
Okay.
And then the in-between is the mesomorphs. These are people who tend to be, it's easy for them to build muscle, but can become very bulky. They can gain weight to some extent, but if they train, they can build some good muscle as well. So, and then the other extreme is actually the endomorphs. And these are the people who tend to gain weight with a lot of ease, and especially if they are consuming a lot of calories, particularly from carbs. And so from these three body types, actually, none of us is really an extreme, you know. Actually, there are certain numbers that I used to classify that, but we don't want to go into that technical
Even the models are not the extremes, and we see them on the runway, and you're wondering, you're like a perfect fix.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that people can convert, you know, quote unquote, like an ectomorph can really train hard and build some good muscle, and can also, you know, so can transform from being an ectomorph to a mesomorph. Oh, so build some good muscle. Yeah, you can actually play across. And the interesting thing, I don't know, for me, I had in high school some ectomorphs. People seem to be ectomorphs, really skinny. They tend to have small bone frames, so if they pack on weight, it's mostly fat. They were really skinny, and, you know, we would envy them because I was now like on the endomorph side of life.
I like that.
In high school. And actually, with time after getting babies, some of them have converted
and
to
become a bit.
kind of. Yeah, so there's a basic structure, but you can convert. And for the endomorphs, I'm sure you've seen transformation stories of guys who are really big. I don't want to name even names of some locals that you would recognize,
and they went,
that were really round, and now they're looking good. They've cut down. And yes, so the thing is, what I love to remind people is that, because these body types are predetermined by our genes. Yeah. That, you know, genes give you the cards, but you play the hand. So the thing is, whatever body type you have, please do the best you can with that body that God gave you. And come on, girl, work on it. And get to accomplish your mission here on earth in a healthy body.
I love that. Oh my goodness, I love that. Okay, all right. I like that. Wow. People tend to say that eating healthy is expensive.
No, I beg to differ.
Are you sure?
Yes, I do.
If I walk into KFC and it's just only like $3.50, and then I go to the Healthy You, and then I see a price suji. I mean, eating healthy is not expensive.
Let me tell you, in the West, probably yes, because there's a lot of GMOs and all that, and people are thinking organic, and food there can be expensive in terms of organic. And actually, what we call junk is what is more affordable in the West. So actually, you realize even people in the poorer neighborhoods tend to eat a lot of junk, tend to be more obese because they're having cheap food that is actually junk. In our setting, it's a little bit different. You know, walking into, I'll not name those places that we go to eat lots of pizzas and lots of, you know, that chicken coated in a lot of sauce. And, you know, it actually tends to be a little bit more expensive. The people who perceive themselves to have less want to have that, and it's more expensive, but less healthy. So it's very affordable. And looking at my set here, I mean, we have some sweet potatoes.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Guashes.
For breakfast?
Yes, you can, there's Irish potatoes, the warus. I know you want to say something about it.
I love mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes.
What do you mash it with? Many times that's where the catch is. Some people put in a lot of margarine. Don't worry, no one is seeing this. No one is seeing this.
I do that. I am guilty. I am guilty.
So actually, cooking methods does matter a lot. There's nothing really wrong with the Irish potatoes. Of course, their glycemic index is higher than even the sweet potatoes. It can increase your risk of diabetes if overeaten. Yeah, but cooking methods, like if you're mashing with a lot of margarine and you're deep frying to have
So how do you make your mashed potatoes? What do you use?
Actually, I can put in some little milk. I just like them boiled. I must confess, I don't do a lot of potatoes. But when I use them many times, it's like for stew thickening instead of using the other commercial stew thickener. So natural is always good.
So what you'd advise me, instead of using Blue Band, I use milk?
Now you see, you should not name those names. I don't have any issues against the company.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's okay. You can use milk, and if you use whatever other margarine that you'd want to use, it should be very little.
So cooking is important. How you cook, how you prepare.
Yes, it matters a lot.
Because even with sweet potatoes, I've seen people who deep fry them.
Yeah, you see, the problem is you can actually take a healthy food and mess it up, And actually, a good example of how you can mess up your nini. I know my kids might be salivating. They do crisp something in a while, I mean, they're just kids, but I don't encourage so much of this. So you see, like this, it's deep fried and then has lots of salt, so not really good for health. Should be a once in a while kind of treat. So the cooking method matters a lot.
Once in a while. Kenyans,
yes, and so I was telling you,
once in a while.
These are accessible things. If they're there in most supermarkets, actually have fresh groceries, some vegetables, carrots and aubergines, as in whatever you like. It's actually there. If you're willing to put in the effort, go shopping, get the right food, you'll be able to eat healthy. At a budget. On a budget.
Yes, at a proper budget. And the food is still going to be delicious.
I'm actually on a budget.
You're on a budget. You're also on a budget.
Yes.
And the food is delicious,
It is delicious. It's, again, how you make it. Sometimes, like, for example, I told you, if I do my potatoes, I boil them.
Right.
But if I want to mash them, I'll add in some ginger, fresh ginger, some garlic. It gives it some nice flavor and you enjoy it.
Before we come back to the bread, because I want us to come to the bread, there's something you mentioned as a mom. Yes, she is a mom.
Of 3.
Not 2? Not
3.
3? Okay,
3.
you know what?
Okay.
I'm going to walk off set because you're stressing.
No, please don't leave me.
You're a mom of 3?
Yes, I am.
All right, and you'd say that at times...
Via cesarean section.
Yes.
So I know most people get worried. Oh, can you exercise after cesarean?
Yes.
I am a CS mom.
And you still...
Maybe one day we should have a CS mom and we do some things on set. Anyway, that's
like
a story for another
exercising?
day. Yes.
Yeah. We exercised in December and that didn't really work out very well.
I am on your case. Anyway, we'll come back.
All right. So, you're a mom of 3.
Yes.
And you tell them sometimes, okay, like you give them crisps once in a while.
Yes, I do. Because I don't want them to hate my fitness life. Just, just moderation.
So, as a mom, and even parents will be watching, so how do you strike that balance with telling your kids, eat healthy, and sometimes, you can have ice cream after dinner? How do you balance that?
Actually, how you balance that is, first of all, just by creating that bit of leeway that they could have that. And what I do, I don't let them just go buy the stuff. My twins, now that I say they have 3 babies, but I've been pregnant twice. So the twins are turning 10 in May. Oh, they are awesome. I think they're watching. Hi, guys. Anyway. So what we do, like, over the weekend, then we walk to the supermarket and let them pick something that they'd want.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just even, like a yogurt. It's really sweet, but they get some nutrients with it as well. So you let them have some crisps, some cookies, and that kind of stuff. We just moderate it. If you keep it in the house, that's where the problem comes in.
The reason why I ask that is that my own family is an example, Dr. Esther. My mom, she's like this. She's like full. I think she says she's 80% vegan, but I honestly think she's like 100% vegan. Because you should see her plate and then you should look at my plate. It's like complete opposite.
She never has meat at all?
She rarely
but then we have
has
some meat.
I know. Like the way she prepares her food, it's just different from how we eat ours. So that's the reason I was asking, is that you may be in a household and your mom or your dad or your siblings, one of them are like, they want to eat better.
Yeah.
So preparing food, you have the food that is prepared for everyone, and then you have the food that is only prepared for this one person. Yeah.
It can be really complicated. What I do actually when preparing my meals, I love to just have variety.
Yeah.
So we have some chapatis. Yes, we do have chapatis. Not every day though, at least twice a week.
Twice a week.
At most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have chapatis. I'm very particular on how I make my chapatis because chapati can be very junky.
You make chapatis twice a week?
Yes, I do. And I put in very little oil and ensure they're not really huge ones, and I portion them and eat with veggies. So the thing, but someone on a weight loss journey, chapatis can be one of those things that can really slow your process. So it's just good to know, girl, you know.
Chapati is one of the things that can slow the process.
Yeah, it can. I think for me, it's my kind of treat because I hardly ever do the so-called cheat meals.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing for kids, sweet, tasty things, make it natural. Oranges, apples, avocados will give you some healthy fat.
Avocado fat is good. It's good, right? Avocado is good.
It is good.
It is good.
Monounsaturated fatty acids, very good for your heart health as well. But
so you can have all the guacamole in the world.
Not really. I think that's why we come back to the portions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Portions.
not too much of it, but it's fantastic. Actually, you can have it on your bread. Like, I don't like margarine. I don't use honey. I don't use jam on my bread.
You mash it and
marmalade. Yeah.
I do that as well.
I know I can overeat
It is so
that.
good.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And this bread here.
Yes.
Now this bread, Daktari, is whole grain and it's brown bread.
That's the best.
It's the best, definitely.
Yes.
But then there are certain brands, it's like they just took a paintbrush and just put it in brown, but it's not actual whole grain, and we see you.
You are absolutely
we see
correct.
You.
Please
we
don't
see
do that.
you.
Oh, we see you.
We see you.
We are seeing you.
We see you. And then they say brown bread. It's not brown. It's so honestly.
But maybe they're not lying. It's brown because it's colored. And
it's brown because it's colored.
It's brown because it's colored.
All right,
so
we'll give them that.
Whole grain.
Whole grain is better.
Whole grain is better.
So this thing of going to the supermarket and then going to the brown and picking brown bread because it's healthy, no. Go for the whole grain.
Yeah, whole grain is much better. But I'll not fault someone so much because that's where I began. I was very chubby by the time I went to medical school, my first year. So I started becoming health conscious. Sometimes don't fault someone so much. It's their first step.
Okay.
So I thought of switching from white to brown, brown, not whole grain. I thought I was doing well. And that's where the journey, it was just about a mind shift. But it's just good to know the brown bread hardly has much grain.
Let's talk about that, mind shift. You said you were once chubby.
Yes,
I feel like you're just lying to us.
No, I was. I had cellulite on my arms and now.
I know. You have those Michelle Obama arms.
Yeah,
I love it. I
a
love
lot.
it. Okay. So,
Yes.
mindset.
Mindset.
Let's talk about that just a little bit. That even as you are living a healthy life or if you're trying to cut down on weight, etc., it starts here.
It does. But until you change it, you can't do.
Yeah,
You can't achieve it.
What happens is that you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, it is 2018, New Year resolution, eat well, exercise, blah, blah, blah. It's the second week of January. That resolution book is outside the window because it doesn't just, okay, I wake up and it has to start here.
You have to start in the mind because whatever the mind perceives, the body can achieve. So when you start there, it's like doing an extra push-up. You're like, oh gosh, I'm feeling tired, but in the mind says you can do just one more. Sometimes it's breaking down to very small achievable. Just say one more. Don't say 10 more, one more. And one more really takes you to the next step. And making it, and just saying, okay, fine, I'm not going to run 10 kilometers today, but I'll just try, I'll do 5. Okay. Kilometers sounds so low. But as in, I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to do 2 laps. But then make it achievable. You do the 2 laps, and then, like 5 days of the week or 4 days of the week. Then the next week, you're like, come on, I can actually challenge myself and go the extra mile.
So
always aim for progress.
I feel like she's saying so many quotable things. I just want to tweet all of them. All right, so Brian Otieno is on phone and he's joining us. He's called in. Brian, thank you so much for calling in this morning. I have Dr. Esther here with me. Do you have any comments, any questions for her?
Hello?
Hello. Hi, Brian. Pardon? Yeah.
I have a problem.
All right, Brian, do me a favor. Please switch off your TV so we can hear you a little bit better, so we can get that question. All right, Brian, when you do that, go ahead. Shoot your question.
What can I have a problem only one problem on my.
Come again?
Yani, nilisema
All right.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
na dem.
All right, we will try and connect back to Brian so we can get a better, clear mindset. But yes, you were saying, a better voice rather, you were saying that mindset. My mind is already on mindset.
Yes.
It all
Very
starts in the
important.
mind.
Yes, it does. And by the other thing about the mindset, just besides just believing that you can do something and doing it, it's also feeling good about yourself.
Right.
And most people think, "Oh, I want to change so I can look good, look like so-and-so and feel good." No, it has to start with, oh, by the way, I love myself. Yes. I am beautiful. I am awesome as I am. And then I'm like, I want to do something better for myself. I want to better myself. So that's very important because how we feel about ourselves is what we project to the world.
Also, I read somewhere that health should not be a New Year resolution. It should be your entire life journey.
It is. It's actually a lifestyle. It's not a 100-meter sprint. It's actually a marathon.
Yeah.
Just keep at it. Keep grinding at it. And why most people fail when they just do a project, I want to do this, achieve this at this point, it's because then, okay, if you get to that point, so what? I just want to lose 3 kgs. Yes. So, and then you get to that point, so what next? It's better to adopt those simple, small by small steps, and then it becomes, you adopt a culture of healthy living. Then it becomes a lifestyle.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about the concept of cheat day. And the reason why I say that is that I'm an avid follower of the likes of Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne, we know him because of how muscular he is and he's a great actor, but also what he eats. Dwayne Johnson literally has pancakes like this on his cheat day.
That I'm gonna walk away.
I know, I'm so serious. And
my kids love pancakes. Oh, my
Your kids
husband
love
makes
pancakes?
awesome.
Are you serious?
You know what? I hide in the room when they're making them.
You know, we always wonder, because at the end of the year, we always do Google Trends, what Kenyans search for. And for the past 4 years, Kenyans at the top is how to make pancakes. Now we see the Kenyans who Google how to make pancakes.
My hubby is good at making them.
Every year, we're like, why are Kenyans always searching how to make pancakes? What is it with pancakes?
They love pancakes.
Pancakes. So that's Dwayne Johnson is like that. So he has a cheat day. And when he's working in the gym, he works in the gym. The concept of cheat day. Does it work? So you don't want to like nima yourself too much.
Yeah.
Because even once in a while you want to have the crisps, and once in a while you want to have that chicken and
yeah, and chicken is awesome, but they don't offend my in-laws. They love chicken, and I love chicken. So
should I be specific then? That dipped oil grilled chicken?
Yeah, that messed up chicken. You know, cooking method again.
It's
on
so
whatever you add into it.
delicious.
So back to the cheat days. The problem I have with cheat days, it's because guys want to, on Monday they cheat with a whole plate of chips, and tomorrow they cheat with the whole 250 grams of ice cream, and the following day mandazi, and it's my cheat day. It's a cheat, and then you realize 80% of the time you're cheating. So it should be, the cheating should be 20% and 80% regular food. Let me tell you how I do it. I actually don't have cheat days like really marked, but I told you I eat chapatis. That's because I know it's kind of food, it's okay, but it's my indulgence. It's that kind of thing that I like, and I still portion it.
Okay.
And I can pinch a bit of crisps once in a while, and yeah.
We'll come back and still touch on cheat days because I have a few questions. Mohammed is online and is calling all the way from Embakasi. Mohammed, thank you so much for your time. Your comments or your questions to Dr. Esther?
Yes, I have a question. I want to ask the doctor at least a question which is combined. In that I want to how to explain to us on the importance of what we call vitungu.
Gitungu.
Yeah, vitungu.
Okay.
Pilipili.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear
so
you.
you're asking the importance of gitungus.
And pilipili.
Yeah,
pilipili.
vitungu, pilipili. Na kingine. Yeah.
Kitungu na pilipili, the importance of those two.
Yeah, what are the importance? Because most of the time people tend to say pilipili is treating ulcers.
Oh,
Therefore, I want to know specifically whether this will be true. She's a specialist in food. And anaweza kutuambia vile inawezekana, kama ni ukweli ama ni uongo, tafadhali.
Aya, sawa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohab. Before we answer Mohab's question, Brian from Nairobi is also on phone. Brian, good morning. What is your question or comment?
Some contribution to whatever the doctor is encouraging people to do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very healthy. Like today morning, my family, they are having those sweet potatoes.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and me myself have been fasting for the last 2 weeks. And every morning I take a juice of raw carrots and apple juice, which has no preservatives or whatsoever. So I really encourage people to listen to the doctor and do take these foods, especially for those who are young married people. This is very good for the men.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian, for your contribution. Dr. Before we take a quick break, we have to answer their question, especially Mohaz, which was the
Vitunguu and pilipili.
Yes, and how it affects the ulcers, especially pilipili.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, to start with kitunguu, that's onions. We almost use it in all our meals, like frying them. And it actually has some benefits, some special chemicals, the phytonutrients that are good for protecting our DNA and actually fighting off some cancers. Anyway, so, and then pilipili, of course, it has a way of boosting the metabolism because of that name in it, that component in it. Yeah, but in terms of ulcers, I would say the things that we are certain do affect our symptoms and might actually lead to causing of cancers. Of course, there are some drugs we call the NSAIDs, and then we have caffeine that can be from your tea or coffee, especially if you're consuming too much. Alcohol and smoking are actually risky, and citric fruits. Actually, what we love to tell our patients is actually to listen to their bodies, because people react differently. You consume a certain thing and you actually get that discomfort in the upper part of your tummy as opposed to someone else. So besides avoiding alcohol and smoking and caffeine, then the rest of it is and of course some drugs, some painkillers that have a certain effect. Then the rest of it is just listening to yourself. I am not certain that pilipili does that. That's something I've not had an experience with. But if it does make him uncomfortable, then it's fine to drop it.
All right, more of Dr. Esther when we come back right after this break.